And we argued when I said I wanted to run a marathon, and he said a woman can't do it. We ran not only 26 miles one day, we ran 31 because I wanted to prove to him that I could go further than the marathon distance. The race director jumped off the press bus, ran down the street after me and attacked me in the race and threw me out of the race and cursing at me, "Get the hell out of my race. Give me those numbers." And here's the point of this is it made all the difference, finishing the race.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, nobody would believe women could do it. And I knew I could do it. I knew I could do it. So I'm not going to drop out of the race. So while I was at Syracuse University, there were no sports for women. So I asked if I could run on the men's cross country team. And the coach said, no, it was against rules, but I could come and work out with the team. So it was there that I met a volunteer coach who was much older. I was 19, he was 50, and he was just a volunteer, but he was an ex-marathon runner. And he ran with me every day because I was so slow. He felt really sorry for me. But he would tell me every day about this wonderful event called the Boston Marathon that he had run 15 times. And so I fell in love with this idea. And then two things happened. I really didn't get much faster, but I could go forever. And finally, we were really running out there, running like 15 miles. And when we would go out and run 15 miles, and or you know, however long that is, 25Ks, I guess, the guys on the team wouldn't run with us anymore because I could keep up with them.
Wow.
But we discovered then that women had some amazing potential and endurance and stamina. And we argued when I said I wanted to run a marathon, and he said a woman can't do it. Finally, he said, if you show me in practice, I'll be the first person to take you to Boston. So the challenge was on. I told him in history that there had been a number of women who had run a marathon. And even at Boston, the year before, a woman had jumped out of the bushes and run the race. He didn't believe it. Fake news. That's what he said. Fake news.
Oh my.
Anyway, we went out. We ran not only 26 miles one day, we ran 31 because I wanted to prove to him that I could go further than the marathon distance. He fainted at the end of the workout, and and I felt great. And he said, "You know, I am really, really impressed." And he insisted on my signing up for the race. Well, you heard from the previous story, I signed the entry form KV Switzer. They thought it was from a man, but there were no rules that said it was a men's only race. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I was proud of being a woman. And I just wanted to run. And so nothing about gender on the entry form, filled in the entry form, paid my entry fee. We went to Boston and I got bib 261, which didn't mean anything to me. It's just 3 digits, right? So I tell you that because there's another story with that too. And then in the race, where all the men were wonderful to me, really wonderful and welcoming, the race director was not, and he was on the press bus, jumped off the press bus, ran down the street after me and attacked me in the race, grabbed me like this and tried to pull up my bib numbers and throw me out of the race and cursing at me, "Get the hell out of my race. Give me those numbers." And my coach couldn't get him away from me. He was just out of control. But my boyfriend was running with me and he threw a crossbody block into the official and sent him flying.
Wow.
Like that. And down the road we went. Well, this happened in front of the press truck. And the pictures of the incident flashed around the world. I was so humiliated and so embarrassed. I was only 20. And the press truck people were very, very aggressive and telling me, "Oh, you're not serious. You're going to drop out. You can't do it. You don't belong here." And I just got really dug in and said, "I'm going to finish this race with my hands and my knees if I have to." And that is, again, one of the most important, that was probably the first really, really important decision of my life because it was my defining moment. It was a crisis point. And here's the point of this is it made all the difference, finishing the race.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, nobody would believe women could do it.
That's amazing.
And I knew I could do it. I knew I could do it. So I'm not going to drop out of the race. So I decided I was going to suffer the humiliation and the heckling, but all the guys, were great. That was neat. They'd say, "I wish my wife would run, wish my girlfriend would run." It was really sweet. And it changed my life completely, because when I finished the race, I knew I wanted to create opportunities for women, and I knew I wanted to become a better athlete. So I tell this story because all of us have a really difficult moment in our lives, a really, really tough crunch moment. And always, it's hard, but always try to make the right decision. Always try to finish the job, because that's what destiny really is.
Yeah.
Destiny is finishing the job. And that's what creates destiny. No, destiny doesn't happen when you sit on your hands or when you quit.
Yeah.
So that's what makes a difference. You don't know how good you are unless you have the opportunity to try.
Right.
And the problem is too many people wait for somebody else to give them the opportunity. You need to go and take the opportunity, or
Right.
create it for yourself.
Yeah.
You need to sometimes create your own inspiration.
Yeah.
So that's what we women did. We went and created our own opportunities, and then I became passionate about creating opportunities for other women, because it is true. The fact is, there's so many women in the world, most women in the world live in a fearful situation where they have really so many restrictions of poverty, culture, religion, that they don't have those opportunities. But if one is created and it's made acceptable, then they will respond. So that's how they start. That's how they start. And that's
This is an excerpt from episode 49 of Live Your Dream Podcast with Selena Lee. To listen to the full episode, please go to selenali.co/episode 49. You can also subscribe and listen from your favorite podcast player.